Hey, what's up YouTube? Today I'm going to show you how to change the oil on your BMW E46 M3. First step you want to do is take the M3 for a spin. You're going to want to go warm up the oil so that it'll drain a lot quicker and a lot easier. Alright, now that your M3 is within normal operating temperature, you can shut it off and wait about 10 to 15 minutes, and then you can start draining the oil. Alright, now that your oil is all warmed up, we're going to want to get started. Grab yourself a pair of ramps and a chock block. First things first, line up the ramps, get the front tires. Okay, they barely clear, so just be aware whatever ramps you're using. Alright, looks good. Alright, now you want to turn the M3 on and drive it carefully onto the ramps. If you have a spotter, that's even better, but just take it slow. Put it in first gear, e-brake on. Shut the engine off. A very important step here. Put the chock block behind your rear tire securely. Now it's time to go underneath the M3 and drain the oil. You're going to need a couple things. Flathead screwdriver, a ratchet with an extension, and a 6mm Allen socket. Now this may sound silly, but I don't care. Before you go ahead and drain your oil, make sure you have 6 quarts of Castrol 10W60, okay? And make sure all the parts are in with your oil filter. Oil filter and all the seals. Alright, should be 2 washers in there, 1 big seal, 1 small seal. Now for this part, all you're going to want to do is just pop off this cover. What I like to do first, and this part's optional, is I like to wipe the area around the screw in there clean, because I don't like contaminating the sample I'm going to take and send to Blackstone Labs. Alright, now that you got your cover off and have access to the oil drain plug, you're going to want to position your pan underneath. Alright. Now we can pretty much use just the extension. Just make sure you have gloves on. Give yourself a little bit of protection. In my case, I have a little bottle that I'm going to send to Blackstone Labs. I'm going to send them a sample of the oil, and they're going to tell me what's in it, if it's okay. And basically it tells you the health of your engine. It gives you a heads up if there's anything wrong. So I'm going to pull the sample about midway through the drain. And remember, you're dealing with really hot oil, so try not to get any on your skin. You will burn yourself. See, it's a good thing I was wearing gloves, because that would hurt pretty bad without them. Alright, now watching oil drain is a little bit like watching paint dry, so let's do something productive while that's draining and start working under the hood. Probably the easiest thing you're going to do on this oil change is disconnect this clip right here. Just push down on the metal clip part and pull it off and place it to the side. That's going to allow us access to the oil filter housing. Alright, now remember, one of our biggest goals here is to not get any contamination whatsoever inside the oil. So you're going to want to just take a clean cloth-free paper towel and just clean the top of the oil filter housing. That way when you take it off, you're not getting anything inside the housing. Alright, now you're going to want to grab yourself a 13mm socket and ratchet, little extension, and loosen that top. You're going to want to take the bolt out and just put it on a clean towel. And the same thing with the top. Now what I like to do is I just take the new oil filter box and I just put that old one right in there. Alright, so as you can see, it's nice and oily in there. You can do what I do and just take really clean paper towels, no dirt whatsoever. You don't want any contamination, and just clean the entire inside of that housing. You'll see after I'm done, it's going to be spotless in there. Now I got a question for you. Do you think a BMW dealership, or really anybody, is going to take this kind of care to work on your M3? Exactly. Now while I work on the bolt and the cap, I'm just going to stuff this to protect it, make sure nothing gets in there. Alright, now we got to clean our bolt and put a new washer on it and a new O-ring. So what we're going to do is first take the washer off. And then next, I want to carefully remove this O-ring. Get it at a new paper towel and clean that bolt off. Nice and clean now. Open up this little plastic bag. Get yourself the washer. Put that on. And then grab the O-ring. Now what I like to do is just grab a little bit of oil for this little tiny O-ring and then put them back on here. Alright, there you have it. This is all ready to go back in, but now we're going to go work on the cap. Alright, you got the same deal for the cap. You're going to want to take the old one off carefully. Just peel that off. That's garbage. Then you're going to want to grab yourself some paper towel and clean it up. Same idea here. Get yourself a little oil. In this case, I'm probably going to need a little bit more than what I just gave myself. Oh, that's a little too much. Let's go ahead and just coat . And then place that right back where the old one was. Make sure it sits in there good. Alright, so by now your oil is drained, completely drained. You're going to want to take the drain plug and you're going to want to take the old washer off of there and put the new washer from the oil filter kit on. Just clean up the plug a little bit before you go ahead and throw the new washer on. Looks pretty good. New washer on like that. All right, now let's go put that back on. Just gonna clean that before I go ahead and put the plug on. Only want to torque it to 18 foot-pounds. That's it. Now you just want to grab your cover while you're under here and put that back on. It only goes on one way. Alright, we're all set down here. Alright, now back on top. Grab your brand new oil filter cartridge and take a little bit of oil and you're just going to want to put it on the seals here. Nice little fresh coat on both sides. Pull out the paper towels, drop your filter in. Now here's a little trick for you guys. Take your first quart of oil and pour it in between the cartridge and the housing. Alright, this is going to saturate the oil filter and it's going to take less time for the engine to get to normal oil pressure. Alright, so it's a good thing to do. Be patient with it, it'll take the entire quart. Alright, now it's time to put the cap back on. Make sure your O-ring is in there good. Carefully slide that on. Alright, looks good. Grab your bolt with new washer and new O-ring. Carefully slide that in. And you're going to also want to torque that down to 18 foot-pounds. Same as the drain plug. Alright, you're all set. Now make sure you plug this back in. Alright, that's on there. And if you got any little drops of oil, just clean those up. Now the E46 M3 S54 engine takes about 6.3 quarts, which is about 6 liters. But there's still some oil left in the engine that didn't come out, so it takes roughly 5.5 liter bottles. So we just dropped 1 into the oil filter housing, and we're going to drop 4.5 more into the engine. Alright, so remember, for this last one, we only want to do half of the bottle. Alright, that looks good. Moment of truth coming up here. We're all done now. You can close the hood. Now we're going to want to start the car. And the most important part here is to make sure the oil light goes out. The oil pressure light goes out as soon as you start the car up. And then we're going to let it idle. Here we go. Moment of truth. It's out. Alright, now that we have it on level ground, we're just going to want to double check for any leaks that we can see. Alright, now we're going to shut the engine off and check the oil level. We'll wait about a minute before we check it. It's been about a minute, so we can go ahead and check that oil level. We're going to want it between the min and the max mark. Grab yourself a clean paper towel and pull that dipstick. I don't know if you can see this, but it's a little bit above, about a 1/4 inch above the min mark. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and add some oil. Not a lot. And hopefully that should do the trick. I'm going to go out, take it for a little spin, warm up the oil, and come back and check it again. I put a little less than another, I put about maybe 100 milliliters, not that much, you know, 1/10 to 1/8 of a liter. Double check everything. All right, we should be good to go. Take it for a little spin. Now I like to take it for a nice spirited drive and get the RPMs up to about 8,000, because if those seals are going to fail, they're going to fail there. No leaks. And no leaks.